Welcome back to SuperTalk Mississippi on this Friday morning. It is almost 8:07. I'm Linda Allen filling in for Richard Cross this morning. Richard Cross Mornings are brought to you by Community Bank. You know, Community Bank is just what it says. It's a community bank right in your own community that knows you because they're here. When you walk in, you're more than an account number. No matter what your banking needs are, they're there to talk to you. Real people who are there for you, who care about your goals. Community Bank, a local bank built on real people who care about your goals. Community Bank, a local bank with relationships right available to you. You can go to communitybank.net for more information. Linda Allen in for Richard this morning, along with Lance. Lance, we were talking about a lot of different things, and, sometimes I feel like, am I getting old and I'm just old and crunchy, or is the world changing in a weird way? You talked about the engineered meat last hour, right? That's kind of creepy.
This was wild.
I mean, it's really, really creepy.
And you got robot pets, too, so that kind of gets me a little off.
No. Go rescue an animal. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later on this hour. I wanted to say something about Kim. Kim had sent a message from Eupora, and she said that they don't eat as much hamburger meat, steak meat, seafood. They've cut back on fruits as well. And they have a garden, vegetables from that they're canning, everything that she can. So I think that's a great idea. You know, a lot of people are canners. And if you have the time to do that, that can be incredibly not time saving, but money saving. You know where the food source is coming from, and it's fresh. I have a black thumb. I don't know about you guys out there. Have you tried to grow tomatoes this year? My tomatoes are wretched.
I've had hundreds of them, but half of them have blossom end rot, and the others are kind of small, delicious, but
what
little
is the deal?
small.
Is it all the rain we've had?
Yeah, it's rain and heat, yeah.
Ugh. They're awful. They're just awful. And it's like I grow a tomato plant, and by the time I get done, like every tomato is like $100.
There's a lot of water put into that and fertilizers.
It is. It's a lot of time and a lot of water. The other hot topic that's going in our world right now is data centers, right? Data centers. We have them in Mississippi. From what I understand, there are currently 24 operating and developing data centers. Data centers across our state. Industry trackers map over 20 facilities in Mississippi, including several massive, multi-billion-dollar hyperscale and AI campuses currently in development. So you might think, well, that's a great idea. It's business, and when they're advertised, and it's about jobs and it's about business, but the biggest concern right now is about the strain on the electric grid, and that is forcing some companies to have to find new ways to power their facilities because local governments and political leaders are looking at this now. You know, this came up on us pretty fast. These AI data centers didn't have them, and all of a sudden now they're everywhere, right? In fact, the projection for the next, let me look at this real quick. What they are saying is that by 2035, the demand for artificial intelligence will surge to the point that data centers in the U.S. will account for about 20% of the nation's electricity consumption. Now, when you look at this, this is coming from Bloomberg, they project that data center powers need to reach 194 gigawatts by 2035. Okay, now, I don't know what that means, but that can be something that we look at. That's an 83% increase. So, yeah, that is a problem for us, and I wanted to mention it because we did talk about it last hour. Caleb Sailors is with us this morning, a multimedia journalist, to talk with us this morning. Good morning, Caleb.
Linda, good morning. How are you doing on this Friday?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm well. I took a 5:30 a.m. flight from Tampa to Houston. I'm currently in the Houston Hobby Airport waiting to head back to Jackson. Had an eventful week at SEC Media Day.
Yeah, I want to hear about that because that's so exciting. And that wrapped up yesterday, correct? So you're on your way back home. Tell me about what that was like.
So you were talking about how the world is changing, and I don't think there is anything changing more than college football right now. We got to hear about a lot of those changes. Coaches complaining about a lack of a salary cap for teams. These student athletes can get paid now. Coaches complaining about revenue sharing caps or the lack of enforcement on those. The transfer portal, the tampering portal, where tampering has run rampant. And you saw a star kind of come into the making in Pete Golding, the new Ole Miss head coach, who was the defensive coordinator, so there's familiarity with the program, got promoted to head coach when Lane Kiffin left for LSU. Then we got to hear from Mississippi State head coach Jeff Lebby, who I wouldn't necessarily say is on the hot seat yet, but is getting toward the hot seat if he doesn't make notable improvements this year. But he bragged about the roster retention wise and guys he brought in through the transfer portal, and we really got a good outlook on kind of what we can expect from Ole Miss and Mississippi State this year.
Lane Kiffin has been bragging about LSU and how it's going to be a killer team this year. There was a lot of animosity and a lot of hurt when he left our wonderful people in Mississippi. Is that still prevail? Can you feel that, Caleb? Do people still feel kind of animosity toward him because of what happened and him leaving and going to LSU the way he did?
So Lane Kiffin is the villain of college football, and he acknowledged that yesterday. And he said now he wants to become the hero like Nick Saban was. I don't think he really understands how Nick Saban was viewed by people that weren't Alabama fans, but I digress. The sentiment with Lane Kiffin yesterday, though, was that he was very, very buttoned up. He filibustered. He didn't take a ton of questions because he just would give long-winded answers to prevent other reporters from getting the chance to ask him a ton of questions, and he's trying to die down the rhetoric too. And so it seems like this animosity now just exists among Ole Miss and LSU fans. Pete Golding on Wednesday said that he and Lane have no ill will toward each other. A former Ole Miss player, T.J. Daugherty, who now plays for LSU, said he's still cool with the Ole Miss staff and cool with his former teammates at Ole Miss, but he had an opportunity at LSU, and it's all business. There's no ill will toward these other parties, and Lane Kiffin kind of espoused those same sentiments yesterday. So now it's like, to me, it seems like the divorce is finalized. It's over. The Ole Miss has the new bride, and LSU has its hot commodity. It's time for both parties just to move on.
Yeah. We've got to look toward the future. We cannot go backward on that. What was the most exciting thing that you're taking away from being there and being around the season? I mean, I can't believe we're getting ready for a season already. It's so close.
I mean, less than 50 days. It's crazy to believe that I'll be in Nashville on September 6th watching Ole Miss play Louisville. Well, I think Pete Golding really stole the show this week, and I think other coaches and other media figures that were there kind of saw that. I mean, he went in there and spoke like he had been in Nick Saban's program before. He spoke like he resembled Kirby Smart at Georgia. He was very organized. He talked plainly, succinctly. He also went off script and was himself. It wasn't buttoned up coach speak. He was actually him. He swore multiple times. I'm sure his sports information director and athletics director were probably not super thrilled about that. But Pete was Pete, and that's one of the things that people were wanting to see. Is he going to be, this robotic Coach Pete kind of guy, or is he really going to continue to be himself and stick true to himself? And he was, and he was kind of the star of the show. And then on the Mississippi State front, Mississippi State fans are really excited about a young quarterback they have named Mario Fuller, who's from Noxubee County, Mississippi. And if you look at him, I mean, the kid looks like a Greek god, the way he's built. I mean, he wins the looks contest day in and day out, and he's incredibly talented too. Got a lot of upside, and I think the future is bright and startful with him at the helm. And so I got to catch up with him a good bit yesterday. Talk about where his head is going into this season. He's very confident, but also humble at the same time too. Not an arrogant guy, and he has the good Mississippi manners and values. But I mean, talented as they get, and so I think Ole Miss is in a good spot with Pete Golding. I think the Lane train's departed. It's gone. It's over. We can, the Ole Miss people can look forward to the future and not sure Pete Golding. And then on the Mississippi State front, I mean, they've got one of the brightest futures in a young quarterback, and that's something to be excited about.
Caleb, we're going to get ready to go to break. Can you stick around, or are you getting ready to catch a flight right away?
I can stick around.
Yeah, stick around until we come back from the break. I want to talk to you more about the excitement of the new season and a little bit more about what Mississippi fans can expect. We're talking to Caleb Sailors. We'll be back on SuperTalk right after this.
We got a few seconds before the break, but hey, Caleb.
I was looking at that. I thought we were out of time. You always want to stick that music in on me.
Hey, Caleb, Taylor is something else. We've covered this young man for a few years before he got to state. And, I mean, as you said, built like a Greek god. That's kind of an understatement, watching him get in last year and do the things he did. Do you think the passing game is going to be more developed under Taylor this year?
I do. My concern is offensive line.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We're going to talk more with Caleb Sailors. The SEC Media Days in Tampa wrapped up. He's got all the exciting news for us as we continue on SuperTalk Mississippi. Is it okay for me to go to break now, Lance?
It's all you.
Lance gives me permission. I'm Linda Allen filling in for Richard Cross this morning. More when we come back. I love it. Do you know that Hammer Pants are back again?
They're back, man.
Hammer
Richard
Pants.
Cross is supposed to be getting me a pair of them.
Oh, yeah, I've got a several pair. They're comfortable.
Yeah.
They're better than like...
I want parachute pants to come back. I want the ones with 12 zippers. Got all kind of goodies.
Don't wear those to the airport and try to get through TSA,
you need to
right?
get those, like the zippers that are made out of nylon or something.
It's not
hey,
gonna
Caleb,
work.
I have one question for you. I haven't traveled in the air in a while. I've been in an airport probably, I don't know, a decade. Do Sabaros still exist? And if they do, where are
They do.
Sabaros exist, and I think we're getting one in the metro area.
What? I'm gonna have to start. You and I are gonna have to start going to lunch over at the airport. Yeah.
No. Come on. No.
So, what have you seen in the airport that you just can't resist, Caleb? I know our listeners want to know. You've been on the road for about a week now. Like, what have you uncovered out there while you've been kicking cans down the road, brother?
I mean, I'm an iced coffee fiend, so any place that has a good cup of Joe, I'm gonna go to it. I gravitate toward it.
Iced coffee, man. That's high dollar stuff, brother.
I loved iced coffee. That's probably my favorite, especially in the summertime, right, Caleb?
I'll drink coffee any type of way. I mean, I'll drink any cup of coffee, but I love a good iced coffee, and so I've been on the hunt for some good iced coffee this morning. I stumbled on Dunkin' today. Okay. That was where my iced coffee came from this morning.
Oh, Dunkin'.
Who had the most designer coffee out of all the coaches that you watched? Did anybody bring, like the old Nick Saban put the Coca-Cola bottle up there? Did anybody come up with like some designer coffees or anything that you noticed? Who was the most pretentious out of the group?
Oh, the pretentious.
Yeah,
I love that.
Who are these people?
Oh, we're talking shade this morning, aren't we?
I'll tell you what. I don't think I wouldn't say pretentious per se, but Gene Chizik, former Auburn coach, is dressed pretty snazzy this week.
NIL deal showed up, huh? Yeah.
See, we ladies should have been down there. So we've got a guy that looks like a Roman god that's going to be playing. What did you call him? You didn't call him an Adonis. Greek god. And then now we have some coaches that are dressing snazzified.
Well, he got paid a lot, so he can afford it. But, we have Gentile outfits our guys. I mean, that's where all these beautiful shirts that we have with the logo on it.
Oh.
Caleb will be wearing one, and you'll see Borky and all the guys. So if you're looking for some good apparel, Gentile's a great way to go.
So I have to ask, Caleb, the typical standard uniform for an Ole Miss guy is a blue shirt, an Oxford shirt, right? Pair of khakis, some shoes. When you become a coach at Ole Miss or State, is that uniform does that have to come with that? Do they have to wear the same thing that we see our boys in?
I think the requirement at Ole Miss now, I think Lane Kiffin set the standard for this, and Pete Golding has picked up is the visor. So I think the visor is part of the repertoire.
The visor.
You have to wear it. I mean, on game day, you have to wear the visor. And, of course, the polo and the khakis. If you're not in a polo and khakis in Oxford, then you just stick out like a sore thumb. So,
and that's whether you're 20 or 80, right, Caleb? That's whether you're 20 years old or 80 years old. You can tell, right?
It is an ageless, it is an indiscriminate and ageless apparel item. It's the polo and the khakis.
Yeah. So we've talked about the coffee, the iced coffee. No great displays from any of the coaches. For you personally, I mean, this is so much fun to be around, and the energy. I can't imagine what the energy was like there. There is nothing like the SEC.
No, there's not. And Linda, one of the privileges I had throughout this week was getting to talk to the players. Of course, this is all about the fans, and so I was doing my best to get fans excited about the players for their respective teams, right? Like asking Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss a myriad of questions, one of which was he came from a Division II school and was kind of thrust to the scene last year. No one expected him to be a prominent quarterback in the SEC, and then suddenly he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Well, at some point last year, he said, hey, I'm still the same guy that I was when I got here from Division II school. And so I asked him that on Wednesday, saying, hey, Trinidad, I know you told us this when you were kind of elevating and ascending last year that you were the same guy. Does that sentiment still apply today? And how have you seen yourself grow? And he's like, man, I'm still the same guy. You know, I stick to my roots, stick to my family. He even said one of the reasons he stuck with Ole Miss instead of going to LSU or entertaining another offer in the transfer portal or even going to the NFL draft was that he's big on relationships and he doesn't like to burn bridges, and he wanted to cement his legacy at Ole Miss, which, you know, Ole Miss people were thrilled to hear that this kid actually loves Oxford, wants to be there, and wanted to have his legacy there. I mean, even talking to the Mississippi State players, two of them that Jeff Lebby brought with him are from Mississippi, and so they talked about the importance of representing Mississippi. You know, they're displaying their talents on the field, sends a message to young kids in Mississippi that, hey, you can do this as well. I mean, Kelly Jones is a guy that Mississippi State brought. He's a defensive back. He's potentially going to be a first-round NFL draft pick next year. He's from Clarksville. He's from the Delta. I mean, that is an incredible story for young kids in Mississippi to look up and see, hey, this guy, I can do this. This guy is from my hometown. This guy's from my home state. And he played for an in-state school, too. He didn't go to Alabama. He didn't go to Florida. He played at Mississippi State. I can do that, too. And he's going to be in the NFL. This is cool. We can do this as well. And so it was really neat to give fans a perspective of, you know, these young men and who they are as people, not just who they are as players.
I think that's so interesting. And, you know, that's what I love about the SEC is that it is so compact. And even though we're all interfighting, you know, trying to get to the top, there's still a level of respect for the legacy of the SEC. And when I moved to Alabama many, many years ago when I was very, very young, I didn't know who Bear Bryant was. And then I learned very quickly. And I think that these legacies that we create and these athletes that we create, especially now with Nil, you know, I'm so mixed on this, Caleb. I still struggle with it because I don't think it's fair that some of these universities make so much and the kids are struggling. But on the other hand, as a fan, I really feel like it is going to change everything, right? Allegiance to universities, and for students that go to a school because they love the programs that are there, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's this constant turnover. Is that going to settle, do you think, when we get used to it, or is it always going to be a bug in our butt, so to speak? I hate to say that, but that's kind of what it is, right?
Well, in the world of college football specifically, I mean, we've seen a lot of changes, but some of the changes that people want to be made have not been made. Now, I will say, to the testament of NIL, that it's been good for a lot of student athletes who would go to college on a scholarship and then wouldn't be able to afford to get a haircut or would have to sign an autograph to be able to pay for a haircut or for a meal. Or
right.
Now these guys are living in the country club in their respective hometowns. I mean, Pete Golding talked about that at one point, saying, yeah, these guys are getting these contracts, and now they're moving into my dadgum neighborhood. He used more colorful language than that. But, it's one of the cooler things we've seen. But now the topic is, all right, when is enough enough? All right, when are we going to enforce caps on how much teams can spend? Is it just college football just going to be the highest bidder gets to win the national championship every year? Or are we going to have some enforceable rules? Also, with tampering, are coaches just going to be able to try to talk to players who are on another team's roster against league rules, and there's nothing or are we going to enforce this at all? And even the commissioners in a lot of these conferences, one of them, are looking to Congress to make change. Now, look, Linda, you and I both know that Congress is like the least reliable tool to enforce anything meaningful. Mm-hmm. And so my response to that is good luck.
Do you feel like it's a work in progress, that we're going to constantly manipulate this until we get it to where people are somewhat happy with it on both sides?
I don't think we're ever going to get to a point where everybody's completely happy with the state of college football, because any change that's made, there's going to be loopholes. I mean, everything that the progress that we've made up to this point has just been riddled with loopholes that get exploited.
Yeah. All right. Caleb Sailors, thank you. Safe travels. So where are you heading to next?
Jackson.
You're coming home, baby. All right. I don't think Sabaro's open yet at the airport.
But I do. I want him to bring me one of those magazines out of if they still have them in the back of the chair.
They don't.
They don't have. Oh man, I wanted Sky Miles or something.
And because I fly a lot, some planes don't even have the TV monitors anymore. You have to take your phone or laptop.
So I can't get a free Sky Miles.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You
can
know
come
the Sky Mall thing.
Yeah, I've
has
got
all-
that.
Yeah, okay.
You can come fly with me for free.
All right,
you
yeah,
want to go with me?
Yeah, I
All right,
haven't
let's go.
flown in so long.
Let's go have a salad down in Florida.
Hey, yeah, Caleb, stay away from the salads,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, Caleb, no salad. Stick with the coffee. Coffee is safe, right?
Coffee and Sabaro. That's
Yeah.
what we're going to do today.
Yeah, good for you. All right, listen, safe travels back home. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Linda.
Thanks, Caleb. Lance, you were talking about the food at the airport and Sabaro and stuff. You know what I saw at the Atlanta airport a little while back? They now have vending machines that put out pizza from the California, what is it?
Pizza Kitchen.
Pizza Kitchen.
Is that the one?
And they also have macaroni and cheese that you
Really?
can get out of a vending machine. Yeah. It's crazy.
Again, I'm not quite sure about that, but you know, if somebody wants to try and give me a report,
I'm very not sure
it's like,
about
you know,
that.
if you see the places like they have in Japan, I love going and researching Japan, the streets of at times because they have like vending machines with sushi, and they like literally change them out every hour.
Noodle houses.
Yeah.
And if you go, they're not in English, so you have to point at pictures and push buttons, and you pay outside, and then you go inside this little tiny room and get your food. So, yeah, we're so spoiled in America. Our food. Look, soccer showed the world what we're really like, right? Waffle
Buc-ee's,
House.
baby.
Waffle House, yeah. It's 8:31 on SuperTalk Mississippi. I'm Linda Allen filling in for Richard Cross. We'll be right back.